Let's talk about cell arrays. A cell array is a special MATLAB array whose elements are cells or containers that can hold other MATLAB arrays. And those MATLAB arrays are not necessary to be the same data type. For example, the first cell can have a numerical value, and the second cell can have a string, and the third cell can have a vector of Boolean values. So here is a question. In the past, when we talk about an array, we say that an array has values of the same data type. How can a cell array to hold data of different data types? Here is a solution. So cell array is a very special array. It does not store the values of the data directly. Instead, each element of a cell array is a pointer to another data structure. A pointer means it's a location in the memory where the real data resides. So if we store the pointer in an array, and the pointer will be the same data type, so that's fine. However, if we want to find the real data, we have to follow the pointer to find the location in the memory of the data, and then get the data there. This is very similar, like in a situation like a dorm. So each room has a room number. So if you want to see what's inside the room, you have to follow the room number and find where it is, and then get into the room to find its content or who are living in that room. So with that, cell arrays has two types of indexing. One is to use the braces, and in this case, it will retrieve the values of the cell. So it will first find the pointer and then follow the pointer to the memory location and to get the values of the data and present it to you or to assign to another variable. If you use parentheses, which means you are getting the pointer instead of the value. However, MATLAB will not display the value of pointer. Instead, it will show you the data type. In some cases, for example, if the data in that cell has limited number of values, then it will also show the values in the command window. This is an illustration of a cell array. And this is a two-dimensional cell array. The first row has two elements. One is an array of two-dimensional numerical values, and the second is a string. On the bottom row, the first is a complex array, and the second element is an empty array. Just keep in mind that the cell array does not store the value. It stores pointers to the values. This is another cell array illustration. The cell array stores pointers, and the pointers point to the memory locations of the real data. You can use self-plot function to display the data structure in each cell of a cell array. You can treat a cell array as a regular array. For example, here we want to add a value to the third row, third column of a cell array. And this is the example from the previous slides. And in the previous slides, we have a cell array of 2 by 2 elements. And here, if you want to add an element at row 3, column 3, and what happens to the rest of elements in the row 3 or column 3, and it simply just give it a empty array as the default value to those cells. There are two ways to create a cell array. One is to use an assignment statement, and the other is to use a function called cell to pre-allocate a cell array. This is an example to pre-allocate a cell array. And this statement creates a 2x2 cell array. And the data in the cell array, that the four data components are empty arrays. Or you can use assignment. And this statement assigns the first row, first column cell with a two-dimensional numerical array. And that numerical array is 3x3 two-dimensional array. Cell arrays are extremely flexible and are used very often in many internal MATLAB data structures. For example, you must understand the cell arrays in order to use many features of handle graphics and the graphic user interfaces, and we will discuss the two topics in later chapters. In addition, cell arrays are used in functions with variable number of input arguments and output arguments.